Two Beards Talk, where thought lives and dies. So we're just going to jump right in. By the way, hit record. So today I'm sitting here talking to Anton.
Hi.
Anton's my I don't even know what to call you anymore. My ex-brother-in-law, well, soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law, past, always brother-in-law, sister's ex-boyfriend, several lines of a relationship back there. Our family is like a full-on Jerry Springer episode.
Oh, yeah.
Anton, why don't you introduce yourself? What have you done? What do you do
I've
now?
done several different things.
What do you like doing?
What do I like doing? Well, as a profession, I'm a truck driver.
There you go.
I own my own truck. Before that, I was in the Army. Before that, I was actually working with you, doing pool cages and screen rooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years back now, so I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you're in your truck. What kind of truck you got?
I got an old classic Kenworth cab over.
Wow, well, let's be real. It's a Kenworth cab over. That is the Optimus Prime original. The original Optimus Prime, basically, is what it looks like, roughly.
Yeah. Well, the original Optimus Prime was a flat top. Mine's like the...
Yeah, yours is the upgraded Optimus.
Well, it's exactly like the TV show BJ and the Bear, except it's not red and white.
Which makes it not the same.
Yeah.
Last podcast I updated this tablet.
You're on a laptop right there.
It just finished. It's a tablet. It comes off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just finished, so bear with me half a second.
Time's up.
I'm so glad you could be here today.
I know.
And my enter key's not working, so we're going to avoid that or leave that alone. What'd you do in the Army?
I was a truck driver.
Shocker.
88 Mike.
Yeah. What was your ending rank? Beginning rank?
Both the same. A specialist.
For some reason, I've noticed people who go in as a specialist don't really change.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to break out of that. I think you got a lateral move and then move up.
No, you can move up, but when you're a specialist, you see all the crap that the NCOs have to deal with, and you don't want to move up quite yet.
And then they all leave the Army and forget to move up ever during the 4 to whatever years they go in.
Well, that's why they call the E4s E4 Mafia, sham shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went in the Army pretty late.
Yeah, I did. I was 33 when I joined, and it went because I never graduated high school, so I never got my GED, and I never got my GED. And so when I did want to join when I was getting out of high school, I wasn't able to.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm lazy and unmotivated, or not self-motivated, I should say, I never pursued my GED at the time. And so until years later, when I got interested in something that I need to have my GED for, I never pursued it.
Yeah. So, what was basic training like at 33? Because I could tell you now, basic training for me at 36. Hell no. No way. Nope. Ain't gonna happen.
But if it's something that you want to do,
okay,
you will continue. You will do it.
Isn't that self-motivating right there?
No.
How isn't it?
Because it. Okay. Well, I guess you got to have a goal, and so that will, I guess, self-motivate you.
Yeah, there's got to be something driving you beyond the end game of what you're going for.
Yes.
For me, it's money. That gets me out of bed every day. Yeah.
See, I've never worried about money. It's never been.
Oh, I don't worry about it.
You know,
I just like having it.
Okay.
I like getting up in the morning and going, you know what? We should start a podcast. And then buying everything to start a podcast.
Impulse buys. I get it.
Yes. Yeah, I want to be able to impulse buy. So basic at 33, what was that like?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
I honestly did. I wasn't the oldest person in my basic training either.
Really?
Really. There was a guy that was 42 years old.
How in the hell did he get into basic?
Because they opened up they relaxed their standards so much.
So you were in at the time where they needed bodies.
Yes.
So
About
you were
300,000 push is when
Damn.
I got in. And yeah. I mean, I had a blast though. I was out there with the the guy that was on the top bunk of me in basic, he was 17 years old. His parents waived and signed the waiver for him to join.
Wow.
So you got a 33-year-old and a 17-year-old that are paired up together.
Yeah, that could create for some very fast maturing and some very quick de-escalating maturity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you find anything that was maybe easier for younger kids to do that you had trouble with?
Well, because I was out of shape. Yes. But throughout basic, well, actually, no, because there was also a kid that was a scrawny little kid, like 19 years old, and he weighed maybe about 85 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah. He couldn't lift his rucksack and carry it and march the entire time. He could not pass his PT test to graduate. But he did it 3 times, and then they brought him to a private area and did his PT test.
A private area.
Yeah, instead of in front of the whole platoon.
So what do you think happened in the private area? Do you think he made it?
Let's be real now. If he couldn't make it 3 different times prior, but he had an MOS where he was never going to deploy and he was going to sit behind the computer the entire time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they just pencil whipped it, but he passed.
You know, it kind of brings up a little bit of a point that I can't stop touching this bourbon. I really want to crack it open, but I was a little drunk last night.
A little?
There's a few of us that were a little drunk last night. So my daughter graduated from med school. Congratulations, Samantha.
Congrats,
I'm
Samantha, so proud.
sorry, Dr. Creso.
Oh, yes.
That was pretty epic. So we had a really probably the best family get together.
Oh, yeah.
That we've ever had. Like nobody argued, nobody complained about people drinking, and it was just a good time. I really enjoyed it. I'd actually do it again without Dr. Creso. No.
Well, you can't without her because it was all about her.
Yeah. Last night was all about her. It was great. Thank you for cooking.
Oh, no problem. I enjoyed it.
Normally, I get stuck out cooking, so it was really cool to watch somebody else do it. Yeah. So it brings up something that I saw a video on earlier in the week. It was Marine Basic, and there was a 5'0" 100 woman rucking in the wood, finishing the ruck, and she fell probably 10 times in the last 100 yards.
Okay.
And she actually stopped and put her gun down and just laid. It didn't lay back, but laid forward, and she wasn't moving. One of the things that I really like about the military is their way to rally around guys and ladies, and make them see that where their brain thinks they have to stop, there's more in the tank. And
absolutely.
And surprisingly, is a lot more in the tank. So she got up, and you could see that her hips were not having fun. She had a wicked limp on her, mainly because her package shifted on her back in a way that she couldn't balance it anymore, so she had to favor.
Yeah.
And I'm watching her finish, and I'm thinking, that's going to be a 35% disability when she's done. Basic beats the hell out of you. And but it's depending on your branch, some basics do beat the hell out of you, but not like they used to.
Oh yeah.
We used to.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with. Okay, when I went in, right before my cycle, they they had taken away. They didn't take away, but they weren't giving out this. I forget what they called it. It was some type of card. If you feel that you're getting pushed too hard or
Oh.
getting picked on or whatever,
Yeah.
you could just pull the card out and they'd back off. The drill instructors would back off.
So you get a drill instructor yellow card.
Kind of, or whatever it was called. I don't remember. But that I did not agree with. I think if you're in basic training, you're supposed to be pushed as hard as you can to see where you can get to, and then prove to yourself that you can get past that point.
Yeah.
And I also kind of wish that they never started the no hands on. I kind of think that the drill instructors should have been able to keep, like, if you wanted to fight, they should have been able to fight.
Yeah.
Just to prove that you're not as tough as you think you are.
I can see that to a point, but at the same time, you're taking kids most of the time, and
yeah,
you don't know their backgrounds.
So true.
So you're gonna touch on things depending on your style of being a drill sergeant that maybe isn't. So I'm gonna disagree with myself on this, because I'm gonna say on this side maybe it's not right to push them to the point where mentally they're gonna break, but at the same time you got to break them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I have this
understand.
struggle internally.
I know.
Like I ascribe to you're in the military.
See, it's 100% voluntary join, so you know what you're getting into before you actually go.
Yeah. Well, depends on who you're.
It doesn't matter. You know what the military is supposed to be, okay? And
Yeah.
if they never took away the hands-on, then you know you're going in and you're going to be fighting against people that have been in for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an attitude with you, you know?
Well, that's the thing, too. They go back to a lot of the stories that the civilians see about the military are negative because, of course, negative shocks and negative entertains.
Yeah.
So we don't see the good and the after effects of what the military does. We see sexual assault cases. We see the fact that hazing still exists. I actually haven't seen that in a while, so maybe that's kind of calmed down. But how can you be expected to go and take a life if you can't emotionally even deal with being yelled at, or you can't emotionally deal with being beat up?
Yeah.
What happens when you're getting beat up and you have your guys with you that you're protecting? Let's say you're taking up the rear and you're getting your ass kicked. All your guys are dead.
Well, yes and no. Because if you're getting your ass kicked in the back, you're going to be hollering out to the guys in front of you.
Yeah.
They're going to turn around. They're going to come back and help you.
True. But my point was more along the line of if you can't take it in a setting where they're trying to get you to an end game or to an end point, how can you take it in the field? And I think that lends to a lot of why we have, in my opinion, more PTSD today. I think it's not weeded out, or they're not being prepared in basic.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I disagree with them not being able to put hands on.
Yeah. So it's, I'm all over the place on this subject.
Yeah.
It's, I struggle because I want our military to be the best. I want it to be the strongest. I want our guys to be the toughest. But then again, I do know there's a lot more technical jobs now in the military that don't require you to be a badass.
Yeah.
So I'm also a guy of standards. If you got standards, everybody needs to meet that standard.
Exactly.
So you can't have some dumbass 100-pound kid just get penciled through because they know he's not going to do anything. If that's the case, then make a separate thing for him. Make a separate basic for that.
That I could see.
Because, the guys flying drones in Kuwait don't need to know if they're physically going to make it in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever we're going to go next.
Never going overseas.
They're never going to be there. Yeah. They're going to be on a computer screen.
Yep.
So,
although they do have to be mental tough in order, because if they're the ones with the weapons, they got to be able to take a life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think society's at a point right now where video games have really prepared people really well to not value life when it's on a screen.
Yeah, when it's on a screen.
So absolutely. If they're not making that connection, or if they're being trained to not make that connection, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like to think, and it'd be no problem, but I know damn well I'm going to look at it for a second and there's going to be a lot of thoughts that run through my head real quick. And would I do it? Would I pull the trigger the first time? Yeah, I don't know. Never been in that situation. Don't know if I would. It's that one was not a beer fart or burp. Wow. So yeah, I don't know what I would do in that scenario, and a lot of people don't. And that's why you got to be trained.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
then we also got rules of engagement downrange. And so
I don't even want to go into that.
Yeah.
The rules of engagements are
yeah,
they're shit.
absolutely.
So there's so you were in a lot of convoys. You didn't really drive the big trucks. You did all security the whole time, right?
No, in Iraq we did all well for the first 9 months. We were pulling all security. Then we moved up to a different base, and then we ended up pulling our own security and supply trucks.
Okay.
So
Fun times.
yes,
I guess your air conditioner went out once.
a couple of times.
That's terrible. I could not. What was it? It's like 115 summer times.
On average, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's some hot ass weather. You know, when I went to Texas, it was 105. It's different than here, though.
Texas,
I mean,
Texas is really humid, also.
South
And-
Texas. When we were in Killeen, it wasn't that bad. Well, it might not have been that bad at the time we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Probably
hot,
it.
but it wasn't Florida 100 and humid. So, one tour, two tours.
2 tours.
Two
one
tours.
to Iraq, one to Afghanistan.
Which country do you think was worth more going to?
Neither.
Yeah,
I mean, I enjoyed both of them, though.
yeah,
Iraq really just felt like we were just doing a police call mission
Yeah.
type deal. We weren't really doing anything. We weren't building. Well, I didn't see us building up anything. You know, when I was in Afghanistan, I did see bases going up and like the infrastructure was getting built up. Roads were getting redone that were completely blown and shot up, blown apart and everything. And that was already all taken care of in Iraq before I ever got there.
yeah.
You know, so
Iraq's the one, just on as a civilian, Iraq's the one that at the time I was all for it. But, you know, we had the Gulf War 10, 15 years before that. So
yeah,
that generation mentality was more like, we didn't finish what we were there the first time to do. Let's go back and finish it.
absolutely.
Is that right? Probably not. Probably shouldn't have been there. Was there WMD? Probably. Did they move it? If he's a smart dictator, yeah, he fucking got it out of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just common sense. But
Yeah.
at the time, I think it really pulled away from what we were trying to do worldwide. Was that you? I was trying not to acknowledge that, but I think it pulled away from what our focus was worldwide. Insurgencies and terrorists. That was what we really should have been fighting against. Finish that. If Saddam still ain't letting inspectors in, you know what? The UN, it's a piece of crap, and it's a piece of crap. And if they couldn't take care of it, you know, it's not our job to go run around and chase every country to make sure they're following the rules. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a waste of money and time and life. That's my 2 cents. Not worth much.
No. No.
So, what was your contract for? 4 years?
Yeah, I signed up for 4 years, not including the basic training and AIT.
Okay, so you did post AIT and basic 4 years.
Yeah. Yep.
How long were you in?
I was actually in for 5 years total.
Damn
because,
deployments.
well, I extended for my second deployment because I feel that if I go out there with the group,
Yeah.
I should stay till the end.
Yeah, I can completely get on board with that.
And there were a couple of guys that didn't extend, and they left in mid tour.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against them. That's their choice.
Mhm.
You know. We ended up getting replacements for them, but they weren't the same because we didn't train or anything. They're newcomers. They're outsiders, I guess, and call them.
Well, your unit was no longer the unit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's got to be rough. I hate training new guys.
Yeah. They didn't know how we operate and how we run. We didn't know how to joke around exactly with them at first, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like getting a new guy for a job, except your job is high stress and lives are on the line. So
huh.
not knowing uh, who they are, it can be a hazard too, and a hassle. It can be a
Well,
freaking hassle.
yeah, it's a hassle, definitely. Not so much a hazard because everybody's trained. And we
True.
all know that everybody knows what's going to
Hmm.
happen when it happens. So it's just as far as the tight knit. Um,
The brotherhood.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Should have gone in and got it, but I get it. Uh, so now
yeah,
you're back to driving a truck. You drove a truck before.
yeah,
Now you took a break to go fight for your country, and
yeah.
now you're back to driving. But now you own your truck, so that's cool.
Absolutely.
So what kind of
Well,
load?
huh?
What kind of load you run?
Well, I got my truck signed on with a company that just power only. What it is we go pick up trailers for customers and we'll deliver the trailer to wherever they need it. It could be brand new trailers, it could be loaded trailer, it could be a flatbed that's got stuff on it that needs to get strapped or chained down. Could be a generator to run broadcast equipment for a football game.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
mobile
pretty cool.
stages, everything and anything.
So the Super Bowl?
I wish. I brought a generator to run broadcast equipment to a lot of college games, college
Yeah,
football games.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a lot of trucks
yeah,
there when you get there, or before you, after you, whatever.
yeah.
I saw when the Super Bowl came last time to Raymond James. It's like a week and a half before. Now it was more than that because everything really does start like a week before.
Yes.
It's like 2 weeks before you start just trucks everywhere.
Yep.
And the main parking lot for Raymond James, the back half of it was just rigs for stuff that didn't need to be, like the trailers on full for stages and shit. So
Yeah.
that stuff was all at the stadium. But the other stuff, it's just rows and rows and rows of trucks. Same thing with Monster Jam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. So you like driving?
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of an understatement.
I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been into like riding three wheels, dirt bikes, and anything motorized.
The wheels
You
just
know?
got bigger.
Yeah.
So, any plans for more trucks or running your own company
I
beyond contracting?
I would like to. Uh, with what's been going on with COVID-19 and everything, and how a lot of stuff's got shut down, I have thought about going out and getting my own authority and just starting my own actual company instead of being an operator signed on to a company. But I haven't jumped on it yet to do that. I'm still hesitant. Um, but in the future, I would like to have multiple trucks, up to probably like 9 or 10 trucks. Just a small fleet.
Nah, get a big fleet.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the drivers.
Yeah.
You gotta find decent drivers, and
Yeah.
it is so hard these days.
Well, we worked pool cages together, and it was hard finding guys then.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know I was probably more strict on how long I would deal with crap. The other crew chief, he would probably deal with more than I would.
Yeah.
The other main guy. I just got sick of it after a while and was like, 2 guys, that's all I need. So I'm just gonna run with 2 guys. Screw it. How are you gonna get it out? I'm no, we'll figure it out. 2 guys though. I'm not taking anyone else. It's
But when you're on some of them bigger cages, it's easier for you to lift one half of the roof section because you are a bigger guy.
yeah, that's true. That is
So
very true.
You can work with just 2 other guys.
I remember, what was it like your first week, first cage?
Yeah, first cage.
You ended up with me, and I just got promoted. So the way it worked, I got promoted on a big job. I really wanted to finish that cage. That cage was freaking enormous.
We finished that cage.
No, we left. We left to do a Bon Appetit restaurant roof, and then we
Yes.
came back.
Yeah.
But later, we were working together on a cage with another guy who was like buff. Like you'd expect him to be strong. Like, and, you know, he's older, but
Yeah.
still lifting weights. Looks good for a guy. He just couldn't handle anything. I mean, we were lifting a roof up. I remember this. It's burned in my memory. Me and this other guy were on the house side of the roof, and I think you were on the outside wall.
Yeah.
So you had the whole outside wall, 2 beams carrying up to put the roof section up. And we get like 2/3 the way up, and he says, I can't hold it anymore. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We're not even in.
I know.
And so I turn around, and he has the roof section wedged in his ladder to a point where he can't lift it up to the top of the ladder to rest.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think I started yelling at him, like, you better, expletive, get that thing up there. If it goes, my crap's going to hit you, and it's just going to take Anton off the ladder. Yeah. I mean, it was just, there was no good outcome to this. And so he just sat there for, it felt like eternity for me, because I'm like,
because you were up high.
I'm like, listen, dude, I'm either going to have to come down and we go all the way down, or I don't know. And all I remember is when he let it go. And I'm like, holy crap, everyone's going to die. You know what I mean? It's like, that's my first instinct thought. And the only thing I could think of was to try and get the roof away from us. So I wanted to get my beam away from hitting him, because the way it had fallen, my beam was going straight for him.
Absolutely.
And yours were just going to flip over.
Just going to flip, yeah.
As long as you let it go.
Yeah.
So I threw my beam in the air, which probably helped everything flip good.
Yes.
Missed him, and then hit the ground. I'm just looking for 3 bodies standing, and I think we were all still on the ladders too. It was surprising. And I didn't even know what to say. Those are the times I'm like, you're fired. Just go. I don't have the patience to deal with you being an idiot. It caused a lot of damage to that coping on that pool. That was so bad. And all I could think of was, I have to rebuild this roof now.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about after I knew everybody was alive.
Yep.
Man, we've had some close calls, though.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we were doing a big cage one time. We had this guy, James, working with us. And it was my crew and the other guy's crew, and Anton was on the other crew. And James was this guy who, he was kind of petty, in my opinion, the way I had to deal with him, because I used to get a ride from him to work.
Yep.
And I had borrowed some money from him. I was young. We were not doing well financially. And I think I borrowed like $10 or $20, something stupid. And I forgot about it.
Yep.
And he just stopped showing up one day. And I'm like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
And so I asked him about it later on. He's like, well, you never paid me back. I'm like, dude, you never said anything about it. What the hell, man?
It was only like $10 too.
Yeah,
I remember him talking to me about it. That's why.
And I threw it at him. And he was the kind of guy who always wanted you to think he was, he was the big guy there. And he was probably a good guy. I just never got to know that side of him.
Yeah.
So we're on this job one day, and it wasn't a 2-story cage, but it was a tall cage.
Yeah.
It was like a 4-foot rise on a 12-foot wall. So I think we were 14 feet in the air, and he was on a 12-foot ladder straddling a jacuzzi waterfall with the ladder straddling. So the jacuzzi is like 8 inches wide on the wall, and his cross member of his ladder was on that, not the ladder feet. PSA, we used to do that all the time. OSHA, we don't do that anymore.
No.
So I think I was screening, and my guy was screening with me on the other end of the cage, and I just hear the ladder move in a really bad way, and then this body going thudding right onto the jacuzzi wall, and I look over, and James is straddling across, midsection lands on it. I'm like, he's got no air in him now. He knocked the wind out of himself, and I guarantee he's got broken ribs. I mean, that was a hard fall. Does it end there? No. Hell no. This guy's so stubborn. He doesn't wait for help. Mind you, I wouldn't have waited for help either.
Yeah, we know this.
And he goes to stand up and falls another 10 feet into the pool. So now he's got his arms and knees and crap are all scraped, and he can't breathe, and his rib cage is probably broken up.
Yeah.
And everyone's running to help him. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, there's 4 people there. I guess I can keep going. I just kept screaming. I was such a dick.
But you knew that you had nothing to contribute because there are other people already there.
Yeah, there was no point in me climbing down and getting in the crowd. I mean, your whole crew was over there.
Yeah.
I think Marty came down too because he was an EMT and a race car driver.
I was just going to say that.
That's an inside joke. Someone see me if you ever want to hear about it.
Yeah. Marty was a race car driver.
But it's like, there's got to be times where you understand, yeah, you want to help, but you're not going to be a help when you get there.
Yeah.
And I've been good at just not having the emotional response to know where that limit is. Like, there's 5 guys there, whatever. If he's dead, he's dead. Nothing I can do about it from here. Not by the time I get down there.
Yep.
Those were the days, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Those were fun days. Now it's fun in a different way. I miss the crew we had.
Yeah.
The guys we had. I like to know what Harvey's up to. Guys, unbelievable. But, yeah. Well, shit, that was 30 minutes.
Really?
Right, and yeah.
Okay.
Nice walk down memory lane.
Yep.
If you guys haven't noticed, we're doing a little bit of a different format with interview. It's not going to be counted as an episode for the podcast. We're going to do a separate episode for it. We'll see how it goes. Might bring some people in if you guys like it. Well, thanks for being on.
So what, we're done?
I think so.
Oh, fine.
I got to go to bed, man. I got to get up.
It's not even 8 o'clock. You are an old man.
I really am.
Wow.
I'll go lay down, but I won't fall asleep till like midnight.
Yeah, right.
8:30.
Yep, exactly. Wow.
Well, you got to go on the road again. Today's your day.
Yeah, I'm going to be heading out in probably an hour or so.
Drive safe.
Always.
Don't hit the Camaro. That's right. Show him. Don't be afraid to show him your tall finger. Oh, so that's Anton. He's my brother-in-law. Always will be. I don't care what happens with his sister.
Yeah.
It's been a good talk.
Thank you.
And as always, if you guys don't like it, just reach out and I'll give you twice the money you paid for it back. Have a good night.